Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're here for the first time, if you're an OG, you're a subscriber already, or you're already a part of the community, welcome back. My name is Busari Moliayo. I am a Nigerian registered nurse who has just recently relocated to Scotland on the pathway of becoming a registered nurse here in Scotland. You guys heard my introduction. I did not say I am already a registered nurse in Scotland. I still have one more exam to write that would get me my license. So please, for those of you who have been in my comment section calling me UK RN, Scotland RN, please, I know you guys are prophesying or you guys are manifesting something good, but please wait for the time that I would announce that I am already a registered nurse here before you start addressing me as that. I really appreciate that because I don't want to be I don't want to get into any trouble for trying to portray myself as what I'm not, if you understand. So please, the only license I still have is the Nigerian registered nurse license. Are we clear? So in today's video, I am going to be explaining all what I have done up till now that got me here to be able to start a new job while still trying to get my final exam done here in Scotland. I'm going to be talking about where exactly Scotland is. I'm going to be talking about the registration process that I went through, the exams I had to write, the estimate of the cost. Although please note that exchange rate is kind of different now, so you may be paying different costs from what I paid during my own process. It might be a few thousands more than what I'm going to say in this video, because this video is basically based on my personal experience. I'm also going to be talking about things that can help you to probably secure a job. Please, a little disclaimer, I do not get jobs for people. I am not a recruiter. I do not work with the UK Home Office or anything. So I cannot get jobs for you. But I can tell you what I feel helped me to secure a job faster. And I'm also going to be giving you guys three honest advice as my friends, my sisters, and people, because I know some of you will come to me and say, I want you to be my mentor. You guys see me as a role model. So I'm going to give you three honest advice at the end of this video. So it's going to be a bit long. So I'm going to advise that while you're starting to watch now, you can pause, get a notebook, or probably you have to download the video because I'm going to be talking a lot in this video and I wouldn't want you to miss any information. So watch to the very end and let's get started. So to start with, where exactly is Scotland? Because I realized some of my followers were a bit confused. Some were like, "Are you in UK? Are you in Scotland? Which one exactly is it?" Now, UK is actually the United Kingdom. That's what it's shortened to. UK is a sovereign state, right? And it has four countries. It's made up of four countries. England, which most now would be the most popular because that is where London is. Do you get? So I think that's what a lot of people are more familiar with back home, like back in Nigeria. And we also have three other countries aside England: Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. The combination of these four countries is what makes up the United Kingdom. You can look at it as one because they have a government, and the rules made by the United Kingdom affects every part of the UK. Do you get? But personally, I still like to look at these four different countries individually because even though they are all parts of the United Kingdom, there are still a couple of variations that applies to each of these countries, like how the people there are, the language, or their accents to start for to be specific, then the food, the culture, things there might be a bit different, even though they are all part of the United Kingdom. It's just like back home in Nigeria where we have the Hausas, like the three major ethnic groups, like the Hausa, the Igbo, and Yorubas. Although we are all Nigerians, we speak different languages, we have different cultural values, and we are different in so many ways, despite the fact that we are still from the same country. So I like to look at these places individually, although they are all United Kingdom. That is why I prefer to say I am in Scotland instead of saying I am in UK. But don't get confused. Scotland is still a part of the United Kingdom. So it means that if you're already on the process of becoming a registered nurse in United Kingdom and you think you want to probably come to Scotland, you are already on the right path. If you have started your registration to become a registered nurse in UK with the NMC UK, you are already on the right path. It is not a defense process until you get to probably the application section, which I'll get to later in this video. Now, for the benefit of those who have not started their process at all, or those who are even in school and just want to know about the process, I'm going to start talking about the process now. And I have my mobile phone here, which I'm going to be looking down at a couple of times in this video to just make sure that I don't miss out anything. And if I miss out anything by the time I finish editing this video and I feel is important, I'm going to put them in the description as well as the comment section of the video. So please, when you finish watching this video, I would really recommend that you check through everything that I'm going to be putting in the description of this video as well as the comment section in case I decide to add extra information that I forgot to say, because I just want to make one video about this process. All right. Now, the first thing you need to understand before you can start anything, you need to have some documents at hand. Number one being your international passport. You cannot start your registration without your international passport. You cannot start without it. And if you attended a university, like you did the 5-year university bachelor's nursing program in Nigeria, if you have only been inducted, you are currently doing your internship. Please, sorry if you're hearing a background noise. And you are currently doing your internship. You have not gotten your permanent license. You have not gotten your registration certificate. You may not also be able to start the process, because what will be required for you to submit to NMC UK are your original registration certificates. So if you don't have them yet, you cannot start. So I've mentioned your international passport, your registration certificates, which could either be your registered nurse or your registered midwife. Please know that processes are actually different. You can only pick one. It's not like in Nigeria where you can be both a registered nurse or a registered midwife. You can either be a registered nurse here or a registered midwife. The process is the same, but the certificates you would submit are different. I am here as a registered nurse, despite the fact that I was practicing both as a registered nurse and midwife here in UK. So I'm coming here as registered nurse. I am on the registered nursing pathway. I hope you understand that. So for my passport, I spent a total of 50,000 naira to get that, and I did that in January 2021. I did not even get my passport because of this process. I got it for a different purpose entirely. So I got my passport in January 2021, but I did not start this process until the end of 20. Sorry, I got my passport in January 2022, but I did not start this process until the end of 2022. So yeah, if you already have your passport, please ensure that it is not about to expire. Do you get my point? Ensure that it is not about to expire, like the expiry date is still like a year or two. It still has like a year or two validity date, so you don't have an issue if you eventually get a job and you're trying to like renew your passport, because the process might be a bit stressful. Now, after the passport, I had to create an account with NMC UK. I am going to leave a link to that in the description. You have to submit all your documents, which is your passport, your registration certificates. If you have a post-basic nursing degree, you can upload that as well. Not midwifery. Maybe you have a post-basic degree in mental health, anesthesia, perioperative nursing. You can upload that as well. Not midwifery. Midwifery is different from nursing here. I hope you guys understand. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to be paying for a verification, or more like an application fee. So you're going to be paying to two councils. You're going to be paying to the United Kingdom, and you're also going to be paying to Nigeria. And the essence of this fee is that you want them to verify you. Nigeria is going to tell United Kingdom that, okay, this person is a registered nurse with us. She has been on our register. She has been of good behavior. She has been practicing. And UK is just going to ask them. So it's just like you're paying for communication between these two councils. When I paid, for my UK application, I paid 133,000 naira approximately. I don't know. It was in pounds actually, so I had to get somebody to help me pay in pounds while I paid the person in naira. So I paid 133,000 for that, and I paid 69,000 naira to approximately 69,000 naira to Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. So yeah, so we've talked about passport, talked about application to NMC UK and NMC Nigeria. You have to, it's advisable that you have the money for both at the same time. Do you get my point? Though for me, I paid for both, I think a week interval. I paid for UK first, then the following week I paid for Nigeria. Now you can pay online because I just paid with my ATM card. I paid with my debit card. So NMCN has a link, and I really love that because I didn't even have to leave my house, travel to Abuja, or do anything. I did it from the comfort of my home, just paying with my ATM card. The money was deducted, and I think about 4 weeks later, I got an email from NMC UK that I have been verified and I could continue with my process. Then you can now start talking about the exams. For the exams, you would have to take two exams. The first one is the English proficiency exam, which could either be your IELTS or your OET. Personally, I took IELTS and I was able to pass first sitting with a score of band 8. If you need a place where you can start getting information about IELTS, probably free tips, and probably to also register for classes if you want to take your IELTS, I'm going to leave a link to a group chat that I kind of have an affiliation with. That okay, I can vouch for these people. They have trained a couple of people in the past, and I can guarantee that okay, these people their classes are actually now very good. I'm going to leave a link to their group in the comments in the description of this video as well. So when you join their group, you start getting information for free, and you can also choose to now register for their paid classes, or you can also get a lot of free classes from them once you join their group. So I'm going to leave that link in the description box as well. Aside, so for my IELTS, I paid 83,000 naira. That was in November 2022. That was when I took IELTS. So I took my IELTS before I paid for the verification and the NMC UK verification and NMCN application fee, because that IELTS was actually what pushed me to be like, okay, I passed. Let's just see if this process is gonna go well. Do you get? So for the time I wrote my IELTS, this was 83,000 naira. Now I am aware that IELTS is above 100,000, and I think about 113,000 if I'm not mistaken. So please ensure that you confirm. And the IELTS exam I wrote was academic. I didn't write the general IELTS. I wrote academic. So please, if you're going to if you're going as a student or you're going as a skilled worker, you will most likely have to write the academic IELTS, not the general IELTS. I hope you understand. So please confirm which of the IELTS you have to take. For me, I took the academic, and all the nurses I know that are currently in the UK or currently in US or Canada that had to take IELTS all took academic IELTS. I hope you get my point. That they migrated as a nurse, so they took academic IELTS. That's what I know. So please ensure you confirm before you take your exam. Now, the second exam is the CBT, that is the NMC computer-based test, which is similar to our own Nursing Council CBT as well. So for that, I paid 70,000 naira, though the payment was also made in British pounds. So I had to also get somebody to help me pay for that, and I paid the person in naira. So I would advise that when you are starting this process, as much as Africans, we don't like telling people that we want to travel out, we want to relocate, reach out to people that have gone through this process, not necessarily me, probably your friends, your classmates. Reach out to them, ask them how they did it, and let them help you. Don't just sit there trying to do things on your own, because you may make mistakes. Ask them if they know someone that can help you to pay. Probably there's a company that does that. They will refer you, or they can even help you out themselves. So please, as much as you want to keep this process confidential, open up to people who are important and can help you. Do you get my point? So after the CBT, and my IELTs were ready, then I started application. Now, this is where I said that if you're already on the NMC UK pathway, the difference if you want to apply to NHS Scotland is where you might have to tweak it around a little bit. For most people, they apply on tracks, read.co, and a few other how do I put it? A few other websites. Yeah. For NHS Scotland, they have their own separate website where you can see the jobs that are available. I hope you get my point. So you can see when they have like international recruitment or pre-registered nursing recruitments ongoing. So I'll leave a link to the Scotland website. I'll put it on the screen and I'll also leave it down in the description box below. So you can open an account with them and start applying. The jobs on that website are specifically for NHS Scotland. I hope you get my point. So unlike tracks that you find more of England jobs, I'm not saying you won't find Scotland jobs on tracks, don't get me wrong. But if you want to specifically apply to Scotland alone, then you can try looking at their NHS Scotland website. NHS is we have NHS in I think Wales, England, and Scotland, but I think the health board for Northern Ireland is actually different. I think they call it HSC or something like that. I'll confirm that and also put it on the screen. So that is why I said I like looking at these countries individually. I like to know about okay, what exactly goes on in Wales, what exactly goes on in Northern Ireland, what exactly goes on in Scotland, and what exactly goes on in England, instead of assuming that England is UK. So they have their NHS board is different. So NHS England is different from NHS Scotland. It's different from NHS probably Wales. I don't know if theirs is NHS too, and it's different from HSC Northern Ireland. The salaries are different. Not the disparity might not be very wide, but they are also different. The cost of living in these four countries are also different. You can't compare cost of living in a place like Lagos to cost of living in a place like Akure or cost of living in a place like Port Harcourt to cost of living in a place like Akwa Ibom. Like the cost of living is different. So you need to be sure of what you want. Although I know we may not really get a choice because of the red list, which will bring me to what I feel might help you to secure a job. Okay. So talking about the red list, actually, the red list is basically like a number of countries that WHO has identified that they are losing a lot of healthcare workers and they are stopping active recruitment from these countries. So recruiters are not going to come to your country directly and start picking you and recruiting you and moving you back to their own country. No, that is what the WHO red list is for. But does that mean you can't get a job? No, it doesn't mean you cannot get a job. But you have to apply directly rather than them coming to your country to pick you. I hope you get my point. So people are still getting jobs in different parts of the world as Nigerian healthcare workers if they wish to migrate, but not necessarily having the recruiters coming to Nigeria to recruit them. So most times you would have your trust sponsoring you here if you're able to get a job with them. Please, when you are offered a contract, read it well and be sure that it is something that aligns with your goal. Don't jump on any contracts. Please take your time to read it well. If you have to send it to a lawyer, please do. If you have to send it to your friends who are already practicing here, please do to ensure that the contract you're getting aligns with your goals. Personally, I am not an advocate of rule to the answer. I am not an advocate of that. I am an advocate of proper planning. Trust me, those who are close to me, they know that. Now, talking about what might help you to secure a job better, I would seriously talk about your supporting statement. Your supporting statement is very, very important. The supporting statement has to align with the job that you are applying for. That was a tip I got from, I'm going to give credit to Nurse MJ. Nurse MJ and I don't talk. I can't even say that she's my friend or an acquaintance, but I watched a lot of her videos when I started my process. And I know that she mentioned that thing severally in her videos talking about the supporting statement. So I'm going to give credit to Nurse MJ for that. So ensuring that your supporting statement aligns with the job that you're applying for is very important. So I'm going to leave a link to some supporting statements that I put together on my website or probably the PDF of it. Anyhow, I'm just going to put it in the description box below so that you guys can probably see some examples of supporting statements that I have put together for you. So you guys are now aware where I am, the exams that I took, how much I spent. Now I'm going to go into the part two of the process. So when you write all these exams, when you pay all these funds, there is a part two of the funds. I like to call it part two because when I was planning, I planned it as part one and part two. Part one is still the application process. Part two is after I get the job till the point that I get the license. Now, this is actually where a lot of money comes in, the part two, because this is where I'll be talking about flights, visa, police clearance, your TB test, proof of funds, and other things. So the first thing after I got the job was that I had to go for a tuberculosis test. Yeah, it was a chest x-ray being done, but you can't do it just anywhere. It has to be at an approved center by the United Kingdom here in Nigeria. And I think the centers are in Lagos and Abuja, if I'm not mistaken. I did mine at Lagos and I spent a total of 57,800 naira, excluding transportation and accommodation within Lagos. So prepare your mind for that. And I'll always advise that once you're applying, you're setting some money aside for this part too, because the job can come anytime. You might be saying that, okay, I'll apply for 2 months, 3 months, and in less than 3 weeks you get a job. I know someone who got a job in the space of a month after he started his application. I think I started my applications in April, if I'm not mistaken, and I got my offer in I think July, August. Yeah, I got my interview July, August. So the time frame was not that much. So setting money aside is what actually really, really helps me. Even though at some point I just had to reach out to my family to get money because this process is actually very expensive for an average Nigerian. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to come here and start acting like I'm Dangote's daughter or I'm Tinubu's daughter. The process is actually moderately expensive for an average Nigerian. So I will always advise that you set money aside while doing this. So the TB test, I went to Lagos. I spent about 57,800 for that. For my visa, because once the TB test was out, I had to send it to them and I was allowed to apply for my visa. For my visa, I paid a total of $315. That is the only money that the amount that I paid in USD stuck in my brain. That's $315. And I think that was as at the time when I did it, as at the time when I paid based on exchange rate, I think I spent close to I think I spent close to 250, 300 or thereabouts, if I'm not mistaken. At the time I did it, dollar was about 750 to a naira. So I think it was about 300 because I had to book premium lounge. I did not like book the regular queue. So I wanted to get it done faster so I could return back to where I live because I did not live in Lagos while I was in Nigeria. So I did that, and then I also had to do a police clearance. You have to do a police clearance to certify that you do not have any criminal record here in Nigeria, and that can be done in police stations. I think most people would want to also do it in Lagos, but there are some other centers that you can do that as well. You can do it in Lagos and Abuja, and depending on where you go, you may have to pay some amount of money to get that document done as well. Then I also had to show, when I was going to apply for my visa, I had to show that I had a certain amount of money in my account to show that I can take care of myself for at least 1 month after arrival of UK. The money I had to show in my account was about 1.2 million naira. Yeah. So after I did that, I had to pay for flights. For me, I booked my flights way ahead. I think I booked my flights like almost 2 months before my departure date because your trust employing you, once they are giving you that offer of employment, they are most likely going to tell you when they expect you to resume. So when I knew the date, I applied for visa and I got the visa. I booked a flight that would get me into UK like a day or two before my resumption date. So that was like almost 2 months from the time that I was doing that I was paying for the flight. So it was cheaper. So for my flight, I paid about 645,000 naira for my flight, booked Qatar Airways, and their service was lovely. Economy class, I did not book business class, okay, but their service was, I loved it. It was my first flight. For those who have watched my vlog, they must have seen the videos are not. If you have not watched my vlog, by the way, I'm going to link it up here around somewhere so you can see the vlog. Their service was lovely. And aside that, I also budgeted about 150 to 200,000 to buy myself things that I would need, food stuff, clothes, and extra cash that I would also carry. And I would please advise you, change your money before you get to the airport. Change your money. Don't change to dollars, please. If you're coming to UK, change to British pounds. Please change your money. Please, please don't come to the airport. Hold some naira for things that you might need to probably pay for when you are in the airport. But please change your money to British pounds, cash. And if you're giving a SIM card at the TLS center where you get your visa, please activate your SIM card. Please don't put your SIM card back home. And please, when you're booking your flight too, check very well the weight of the things you're expected to carry and how many bags you're expected to carry, except you are ready to pay for extra luggages. Please, because that might stress you at the airport. So when you now get to the UK, you are expected to take the OSCE exam. That is the part of the process that I am on now. Do you get my point? I'm expected to take my OSCE exam soon, and after you take your OSCE exam, that is when you can now be licensed as a registered nurse in the UK. Your trust might have you while you're still preparing for your exam, depending on the trust that employee, they might have you working as a band 4 nurse. They might have you on a band 3 or band 4 role, so that while you're there, you're not just there sitting and preparing for exams, you are also doing something that will earn you a salary in case, so that you'll be able to fend for yourself while you're still trying to prepare for your OSCE. And some trusts would also, most actually, would also help you to prepare for your OSCE. They will train you for the OSCE. So currently, I am being trained for my OSCE exam, and I am expected to go for my OSCE exam in a couple of months. Well, not a couple of months, like a couple of months, but they're just like weeks. But I just want to take a couple of months to keep my mind relaxed. So so for now, I am working on a band 4 role, and I am also undergoing training to take my OSCE to become a registered nurse here. That is why I said earlier in the video that please do not call me a UKRN yet. Do not call me a registered nurse in Scotland yet. The only license I still have here is the Nigerian license, and I am working on becoming a UKRN, and I pray that God will help me and I'll get my license. So now you guys have heard all about the process and the money I spent. If there's need to include any other information, it will be in the description and the comments. Now for my honest advice to people who probably in one way or the other look up to me as a mentor. If you have a business, a brand that you are running in Nigeria, you have a skill that you hope to learn while you are still in Nigeria, please do not stop. Don't do that to yourself. Trust me. Don't do that to yourself. If you have probably an online brand that you know you can see, like you're a YouTuber, you're a content creator, you're into UGC, you're a social media manager, you have something you're doing, you're learning how to become probably a professional makeup artist, you're learning how to be a hairstylist. Don't stop because you want to relocate to UK. Please hold your skills, because they will still come in handy over here. It's not even they will come in handy. Is you get my point? Don't put your life on a pause or put your life on a hold. There's a skill you want to learn, but you feel, oh, because I'm located to UK, I don't need to learn it. My dear, no. You're doing yourself a great disservice. Do you get my point? If you have something doing while you're in Nigeria, please learn and become an expert at it while you're still trying to get your process completed and trying to relocate to the UK. I hope you get my point. This is a honest advice coming from a sister to a sister. Your life does not come to an end when you get here, and your life is not at an end when you are back home. Please Consider it as the same way you are probably moving from your parents' house to where you are doing your NYC, or you are moving from your parents' house to your husband's. It is just you are moving, but it doesn't mean that your life is going to come to a halt, or once you get here, that's the end. No, you still have to continue, and you need something to fall back on. So if you have a skill, you have a brand, you have a company that you want to start, or you have just started and you're not taking serious, my dear, don't do that to yourself. Do not do that to yourself. Okay, so I hope to see you guys in my next video. Subsequently, I'll be talking about IELTS, talk about my culture shocks. Like, I have a lot of videos coming up, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. And in January, you guys are going to start seeing my tutorial videos back. You guys already know what my brand is about. My brand is not a travel vlog brand. Of course, sometimes I might have to pop in some vlogs here and there, but that is not the main goal of my brand. So for those who have been wondering if I'm going to still continue my free tutorials, if I'm still going to be doing my nursing content, if I'm still going to continue that, yes, I am. I am still settling down. I'm trying to get adjusted into the new country. When I'm well adjusted, you guys will start hearing from me. Okay? See you in my next video, guys. Bye.